Who Hannah is will be explained in a moment as well. Basically, I drank some dirty water by mistake, and I ended up getting a horrible bacteria in me. I became very poorly, came home, in and out of hospital for tropical diseases, and basically what it did was it did something nasty to my intestines, and I became hugely allergic to lactose. So that's that.
So where we are today is
So the reason I'm bringing that up, I'm used to being intolerant to one thing. Over the past few years, it's been getting worse and worse. I've become allergic. Well, I have an allergy to lactose. Can't be anywhere near it. But an intolerant to, it felt like everything.
Well, what I say is, when we first got together, you know, you could stomach certain bits of milk, you know, certain things of dairy, and you have got worse and worse, to the point now that if there's a slightest bit in it, oh my gosh,
game over.
Ill for days.
And we're talking in bed with a migraine.
Let's not talk about everything.
Lights off.
Let's not talk about everything.
That's all we're saying. No, but people think, oh, you get a bit of bloating.
Oh, no. Proper
it's
ill.
Awful. It's awful.
But also, what was then happening is every time we ate something that we'd made fresh, you were getting, you know, what the kids called a food baby. And you were getting massive bloating. And it was like, what the hell? We know, we literally were making everything from fresh, and we knew what was going into these things.
But it wasn't just that. I was just, I was reacting badly to anything I was eating. I wasn't feeling very well. Energy levels really low. Constant sort of ulcers in my mouth. It was as if I was every day was wading through treacle. And I'm like the Duracell bunny.
But obviously a lot of those symptoms are associated with
the menopause.
So you didn't pay too much attention because you thought you were dealing with.
Yeah.
Anyway, where we got to and where Hannah, and we will say who Hannah is you went to see Hannah Richards.
I did.
Who had been recommended. She's got a book. We're going to show you her book.
This is Hannah's book.
The best possible you.
And can we just say right off, this is not paid for. No. We are not endorsing. There's nothing like that. This is just, Hannah was great.
She got recommended and
really
she's been brilliant.
And that is all. We're just talking about this purely as normal human beings recommending other human beings who are good at their job. And that's all it is. It's not some...
So you went to see her. Yes. You had some tests. She had a poo-poo test.
Anybody who has any kind of problems with their
poo-poo
insides,
such a little boy.
You have to have this test, and I did, and basically it came back. It was like lots of red flags.
But without being crass, it can tell you so much about your body, and what's going on.
We all do it. Even the Queen does it.
Fact.
Well, we haven't actually checked.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can say fact.
Okay.
Fact. Queen poos. Everyone knows that.
I'm getting really hot and embarrassed now. But anyway, this is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this, because nobody talks about tummy problems and this sort of... Nobody talks about it because of people like you. So anyway, what it then came back with, all my tests came back with, huge fungal infection. Basically, I'm like one giant mushroom. It's totally out of balance. Everything was wrong, and I have a worm. Oh, it's just so awful, so awful.
Can I say?
I'm getting hotter and hotter.
When she came back with all these the diagnosis of what was wrong, what you need to do, and everything, and it's like okay, and then Andrea told me that she had to go on this gut cleanse. It's a gut cleanse.
Oh, someone's saying they can't hear us. We need to talk a bit louder.
Oh, sorry.
Do we shout? Can I turn the volume up on here? Would that help? No?
So it's a gut cleanse.
It's a gut cleanse.
And a gut reset.
Yes.
And it's over 2 months that you have to do this. And there are 2 different phases. The first month is a lot stricter as to what you're allowed to have than the second month. And I said to Andrea, I'll do it with you. I'll help you out.
which is
I'll
very kind.
support you.
Can you let us know if you can hear us now? Can you give us some thumbs up if this is better and you can hear us? Because I'd hate for you to just think, oh, for God's sake, I can't hear any of this, and just disappear. So give us a little thumbs up so we know that the volume is okay. Because otherwise, I don't know, what can you do? Get some microphones and plug them in?
I can shout.
Yeah. So
Can you hear us, guys?
Let us know. Let us know. Give us some thumbs.
Yeah.
Yay!
Excellent. Thank you very much.
That is really good. Thank
Excellent.
you. Thank you.
So when Andrea went back to Hannah and said, "Oh, you know, Nick's going to be great. He's going to support me and do this."
Yeah.
Hannah turned around and said, "Well, he's probably got the same stuff as well."
I know, which you were a bit shocked about, because basically we live together, we eat together, and
That's fun.
basically we do everything together, and that means then you can pass infection and things back and forth.
You can.
Hannah is watching from India. I don't know if you're on holiday or what you're doing in India, but Hannah just said a little thing. Hannah, type us a little message and let me know if we're explaining this properly, because she's the gut expert.
Well,
so
what we're not doing is we're not taking over Hannah's job.
oh no,
All
God,
we're talking
no.
about
is what's
why
happening
we're
with me.
doing it,
Yeah.
what we have to do,
Yeah.
how long, and what we're getting out of it,
Yeah.
and talking about it from our point of view as well.
Yeah.
So, moving on, we've been told that it's best if we both do it,
Yeah.
and then we look at what's involved. And I think the main thing is it's just giving your gut a rest. You still obviously have to eat,
Yeah.
but it's what you eat.
Yeah.
And the main things are that you aren't allowed carbohydrates. No pasta, no rice, no grains, no chips. Did I say no chips?
No bread, no gluten.
Yeah, no bread, no yeast, no gluten, those sorts of things.
But can I just interject? The main thing for me here was yeast, because obviously that was causing main problems for me. So I probably about November time, I started cutting out yeast to see if that made any difference, and just to kind of ease my way in. I started easing my way into this in about November-ish time, and then Christmas happened, and then you just kind of forget. And there was a lot of wine.
But the thing is, because you're lactose intolerant, there's lots of things that you can't have anyway. So, you know, I'm stuffing my face with mince pies on a regular occurrence over Christmas. Love mince pies.
Okay.
Anything that's Christmassy, big fan of it. But where we are now and what we're having to eat now is, so let me tell you what today I've eaten. Actually, let's talk about yesterday, what we ate, because that's more of a straightforward day, isn't it?
Okay.
So we started off in the morning with some fresh grapefruit juice, because we were allowed that.
Well, I had water with lemon.
Yeah. And then what did we have for breakfast?
I'm eating a lot of omelets.
Yeah. Lots of eggs.
Just eggs. A little bit of asparagus.
So,
Hannah, again, jump in. Am I allowed asparagus? Hannah's got in touch as well. I have a fungal infection. And also there's lots of foods that harbor mold and sugar. So this is why we're cutting things out. It is not a fatty diet thing that is to do with, cut out the carbs, no carbs before marbs and that sort of stuff. Well, it's to do with things that harbor mold and sugar.
But it's internal. We're not, do you know
it's
what?
Nothing to do with what you look like on the outside.
If we were doing a diet, we go, hey, these are our pictures now, and this is our picture in 2 months' time.
No.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this is not what it's about. We couldn't show you our internals and then show you our internals again. But hopefully we will feel the benefit of it. So going back to what we ate.
Yes.
So we had an omelette.
Yes.
Now the biggest thing with me having an omelette, love omelettes, can't have any cheese in it.
Yeah.
Or any processed ham. Or any sauce on it.
Yeah.
So lots of plain food at the moment. After that, what do we have? Well, we made some power balls out of almond butter and goji berries and some crushed nuts.
Yeah.
And whatever else we were allowed to have in it.
Yeah.
So we had some of them. We tasted some of them. Then at lunchtime we had some.
Is this yesterday?
Yeah. Some chicken and vegetable soup.
Yes.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we had roast chicken and veg in the evening.
Yeah,
and a yogurt with blueberries.
Yeah, there's a lot of chicken. There's a lot
but
of
the
fish.
biggest thing I'm finding, the biggest struggle I'm finding,
yes,
is like we only ate an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I had a smoked salmon starter, steak, loads of broccoli, salad, and I'm hungry. That's the biggest thing I'm struggling with. When I sat down for lunch, I'm already thinking about what we're having for dinner and what we've got in the fridge.
Do you know why I'm laughing? This is what he's been like for 5 days. All he thinks about is
Food.
food. And
I'm obsessed.
can you see he's not just doing it in a kind of, oh, I can't really remember. He's talking in quite an intense way about what he's had to eat and what. So, yeah.
You're having to put up with a lot, aren't you?
Can our relationship stand a gut cleanse? Never mind. Can our guts stand a gut cleanse? You're so intense about this.
All I'm going to say, if Andrea goes missing, I've eaten her. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So going back to,
yeah,
that's why we're doing it.
Oh, Hannah's just said, I can't read that. Microsporidium. That's the name of your fungal infection.
Oh dear.
It's got a name.
That's really technical.
It's got a name.
You were probably all asking that, weren't you?
Are you craving food, Mark? His name's Nick, but
you can call me Mark. I've been called worse.
What foods are you craving?
Again, so I had steak.
Human flesh at the moment.
Really,
just about to eat anything.
I had steak, and I can't even have like mustard on it because it's got wheat in and those sorts of things. And I don't know. I really do enjoy cooking. I really do enjoy food, and I'm gonna try and make this into.
It's a lifestyle choice.
You know, there's got to be different things that we can make, sauces and things like that. And so we will embrace it. And clearly the first few days are harder after shoving mince pies, Doritos, cheese,
it's all right. It's
all those things I can eat.
It's all right. It's all going to be all right.
I was thinking of hibernating for 2 months. I might find that easier.
I might find that easier. Do you know what's interesting as well is clearly I'm doing this because I have to, and
apparently I do.
Well, but I'm more used to constantly thinking about what might be in something, so I'm very used to checking labels. I'm used to making things from fresh and keeping.
But milk is in everything.
It's ridiculous the amount of powdered milk and what have you. And now I've found out I can't have anything with gluten in. It's made life a little bit more difficult, but it's a route that I'm already used to anyway, so it's fine. It was so interesting today. Today we popped out, and we decided, right, we'll try and see if we can have something to eat out. And actually, it was all right. You had steak and broccoli and that sort of thing. It was fine. And I just had a salad.
Third time this week.
No, but what was really interesting was hearing him going, well, I can't eat that. Well, I can't eat. That's been my whole life. My whole life. He's literally getting a glimpse into what it's like to be me. Hannah said the reason you're hungry is because you have a memory of when you want to eat, and it's just getting used to a new system and a set of timings.
Hannah, I don't remember eating every hour.
Most people overeat, so you'll create more energy, but you're eating food with vitality. So there we are.
I definitely am. I definitely don't feel as heavy on the stomach because, you know, when you do, I don't eat a massive amount of sugar, you know, as in refined sugar, chocolates, those things. I used to, but I don't. I don't even drink a huge amount.
No.
But over Christmas, I mean, literally the night before we were doing this.
Yeah.
Do you remember we had a massive Chinese? I mean, I overordered. Okay, and I ate all of it. I had a bottle of red wine.
This is what I'm living with.
I had a beer. I had a packet of Doritos, mince pies, just because I knew it was the last day. And that's not me.
Thumbs up if you're bored of Nick talking about food. Thumbs up if you're bored of this man listing foods that he can't eat anymore.
Send me some food. Send me pictures of food.
Oh, send pictures of
What are you
food.
having for dinner tonight? I want to see.
Literally, there is tinging, there is binging, there are.
Do you know what that ting was?
The
Our Tesco's order's coming.
There are other supermarkets available. This just happens to be the one that we use. Hannah's saying it's just habit.
Ah, I know. I will say though, one of
Yeah.
the things is I actually have a bit of a condition. My
Oh
vasovagal
yeah, yeah, he
syncope,
does. Yeah.
and it affects the nervous system of the heart.
Just gonna get my tea.
And what I have to do is I have to maintain. So I don't have 3 big meals a day. I generally graze throughout the day, and that's the biggest thing I'm struggling with.
He gets very lightheaded and he'll faint.
Well, when
My life is such a joy. Honestly, come around this fainting, this
well,
food
we all get
intolerances.
little drops in, when we're hungry in
Yes.
our levels. But the trouble is, my levels are low constantly. So if we get any drop, then I drop. And
Not
it's
fun.
very embarrassing.
It is.
It's very embarrassing.
Yeah.
So
He's a big guy. He's a big thud. We've got to pull over in the car. He's gonna go.
little scream though.
Yeah.
So it's just maintaining my levels, and Hannah, I think that's one of the things that I'm just trying to
Get used to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for sending a picture of a Big Mac and chips.
I love you, Sharon. I'll give you our address. Send it round. I'll just look at it. Honest.
Oh, that's so funny. That's really funny.
So okay, we talked about why we're doing it.
Yeah.
We've mentioned how long. So we said 2.
Can I talk about another reason why? And this is interesting. Nick touched on it earlier to do with the menopause. When I had my consultation with Hannah as well, one of the things that she asked me about was, had I had any recent operations? Now I said, how long have you got? Because clearly I had a full hysterectomy 2 years ago. But that's one of those things that I just thought, oh yeah, I had an operation 2 years ago. Prior to that, a couple of years before that, I had to have what was known as a full abdominal repair. Now, this was because I got very large during both pregnancies, and I'd ended up with 3 hernias. One was an umbilical one, and then there were, so basically what a hernia is, it's your intestines trying to pop on through. It's really not great. So I had to have basically a huge abdominal operation where everything was sort of moved about and zipped up so that I wouldn't get any more hernias. And then I'd also had 2 emergency cesareans, and I'd also had laparoscopal surgeries where they were checking me for endometriosis. When I started going back through time, going, oh yeah, I had that, oh yeah, I had that, actually that was pretty huge. All of those involved moving your intestines around. And when you think about it, your intestines, they're like this big long line of stuff. And when they try and put them all back in again, they're clearly not going to go back in exactly the same spot. And also we're dealing with hernias as well. It kind of made sense that your intestines are not going to be very happy. Add on to that as well, when you have a general anesthetic, that's not good for your body. And then obviously you're given loads of antibiotics. That's really bad for your gut. So suddenly all of these things made sense. So if there's any of you watching and listening and think, well, I'm not allergic to anything, so clearly it can't, any problems that I have a think as well. Have you had any major operations recently where you had general anesthetic, where things could have been moved about? It's worth bearing in mind that actually there's a reason that could be why things aren't working quite as well as they should be.
No, definitely.
So that was another reason. It wasn't just to do with all the other things that came back in the test and everything else.
So we've covered that.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
I'm really getting hot now. I'm getting embarrassed talking about my guts.
Oh, it's fine. We're talking about. We touched on the types of foods that we're allowed to eat.
And thank you for those of you asking where my jumper is from. I'll have a look. I can't remember.
So we talked about the types of foods that we're allowed to eat. Lots of eggs, loads of meat, berries, not a lot of fruit because of most of the sugar in it.
Sugar, yeah.
We're allowed so soups, but again, no dairy, all those things.
French connection.
Month 2 is a lot easier because we're allowed to introduce oats and brown rice. Looking forward to February. I really am.
Yeah.
So we know why. We know how long.
Yeah.
Right. What are we hoping is going to be the result of this?
This is a reset. So for me, it's about hopefully sort of calming everything down, resetting it so that then I will start to feel better in myself. What are you laughing at?
Sausage and mash. Thank you, Angela.
You're not helping, Angela. Don't remind him.
More burgers and chips. Yeah, come on, bring it on.
So yeah, what am I hoping to get out of this? Resetting everything so that I get my energy back. I don't feel so tired all the time. My stomach isn't reacting horribly to basically everything that I eat, and that I just feel better in myself. That is what I'm hoping for. Again, this is everything to do with what is happening on the inside and nothing to do with what is happening on the outside. I know January is a time where people, abstain, and it's all to do with losing weight after Christmas and all that sort of stuff. The reason I'm doing it in January,
it's not lifestyle.
No, but the reason I'm doing it in January is it made sense to do something like this when the rest of the world is already kind of abstaining. Because if you try and start something in December where everybody is out and partying, oh, thank you for your thumbs and understanding. I really appreciate your thumbs. That's the only reason. That's why I'm doing it now. But yeah, it is not to do with bikinis or anything.
It might be
like
for me,
that.
I think. I don't know. Okay, what am I hoping to get out of this? I don't know. I just want to survive. I think clearly it's, do you know what? If we look at our stomach and our intestines as like a clear plastic tube,
yeah,
and over the years, all you're doing is putting all this stuff through it, and it's going through, but naturally bits of it will sit on the side, and it just is there for years. Anything that sort of clean that out, make it reset, and give your gut another, I don't know, 30, 40 years of health, it's got to be worth doing. So whilst I know I'm moaning at the moment, and I will carry on moaning, and
help me, help me,
darling. All I can see is a fillet steak and some sauce when I look at you.
Is it like a cartoon?
It is.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, you're still around when we finish this, but I think we both will feel better.
I need to feel better,
and I hope for you.
I've not felt very well.
No, but I hope for you that you can start going back to foods that you enjoy on a general day-to-day basis. We eat well.
Yeah.
I definitely will have the odd McDonald's. Thank you again, Sandy, for cake and chocolate and all. Yeah, I have all that fairly often.
Yeah.
But I would say we are 75% to 80%. We put good stuff in our body anyway.
Hannah's got in touch again.
Oh.
This diet minimizes fungal food because it minimizes sugars that fungi require in order to grow. Often
not this fungi.
You're such a fun guy. Not at the moment. There is nothing fun about this guy. Often people want to challenge this diet, wanting back some of the foods that they miss after achieving good results within a month or so. Most people find their symptoms begin coming back as they go back to their regular diets. This indicates that the fungi were successfully starved, but perhaps not eradicated.
Ooh.
Many people realize there are hundreds of wholesome and delicious recipes on this phase 1 diet. With their symptoms much better and their diets now more exciting, it becomes the genesis of their health program. And that makes sense, actually, because because of foods that I cannot eat, I've found lots of alternatives in terms of, like, I can't eat chocolates and stuff that you eat, so I make my own sort of things, and actually they are just as nice.
Oh God,
your palate just needs to change. Your palate is so used to
anything.
No, your palate is used to processed food.
Oh no, I don't eat a huge amount of processed because we eat together, don't we?
No, but I mean in terms of your snacks and things. That sort of thing. Sarah, hi Sarah. Sarah said, "Will the diet be on the website?" It's like I say, it's called the Kaufman diet, or is it the Kaufman diet? The Kaufman method, Kaufman.
Kaufman.
FMANN. Look it up online. That's all. That's all
Yeah,
we did.
we haven't been given like a diet book and all that. We've just been given like food groups to avoid. And again, if
Yeah.
you go onto the website, not our website, but we can put a link up there.
Yeah.
And you go through, and it just explains the types of foods that you need to avoid and why, basically. And then you just have to work it round. But there are books out there that do good detox books. One of the ones that we're referring to is a Liz Earle detox book. There's another detox, I can't remember.
There's loads out there. Obviously, again, that's Hannah's.
But that's more about
Hannah's
the
one.
why. There's
That's
no
telling
recipes
you why.
in there, is
Yeah,
there? So
exactly.
again, it's just it's. I am enjoying the experimenting with food.
He's lying.
No, I'm enjoying the cooking.
Side effects may include lying.
I am enjoying the cooking, and
Are you?
well, I'm constantly cooking so I can eat.
One of the other things that came out in the response that we got to the post that put out on Instagram is, can their relationship survive? I have to say that's a very serious question. Can our relationship survive this? He paused. He didn't even go yes right away.
Well, clearly it can. As long as we keep getting food in the fridge, we'll be fine. But if not, I'm going to eat you.
Why don't, if it really gets that much, we just stop?
No, because, I mean, we're only joking. I have been a bit mangry. And I am constantly thinking about my next meal.
Talks about it all.
But no, we'll be fine. Anyway, we're back to work soon.
What does that mean? So
You'll
I'll
be
be out
out.
the house.
Oh no, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Well, I think we've covered all the points, haven't
Have we? Is there anything else that you guys would like to know? In terms of, we'll probably come back and do another.
I think we do keep some
Facebook.
updates.
Yeah, but also do another Facebook Live just about general life stuff, staying well away from.
I may
gut
talk
cleanses.
about food. I may talk about food.
Send packages. Send food packages. What was that thud? It's not Santa. It's a food parcel arriving.
I have had friends sending me pictures of foods and all that. They've been really supportive, actually, which is really, really nice. Thank you, guys, for everyone. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in, listening, hearing us waffle on, especially me, about food. And yeah.
And like I say, the reason that we decided to do a Facebook Live talking about gut cleanse, I mean, it sounds so revolting, is purely because of that silly thing that I put out on Instagram, and it just basically it got such huge traction with people wanting to know more about it.
I think they were more worried about you, thinking that you were on some diet to lose weight.
No.
And this is why we're explaining it.
Yes.
It is a health, not a lifestyle.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
And
otherwise I won't be doing it.
No, not at all.
I've got a box of mince pies in there that are going to get it in March, I'll tell you, even if they're out of date.
It's going to be off by then.
I don't care.
There we are.
And on
there
that
we
note,
are. We hope that you've enjoyed it. We will be doing more of these Facebook Lives actually on our lovely website. Should we just tell them what other stuff is coming up anyway on This Girls on Fire this year?
I can't remember at the moment.
Are you too tired? And
it's been an hour and 45 minutes since my last meal, and I need to go. But thank you everyone for joining us. And I know we haven't. What we got here? Would you be able to go drink free for 100 days, like Nadia, especially with the NTAs coming up? That's from Ashley.
100 days. That's a long time.
But I think in reality, we don't drink a huge amount. We do like a tipple. I think the trouble is, as soon as the sun comes out, we love a gin and tonic on our porch, don't we?
Yeah. So while it's dark, I mean, I do like a cocktail.
Yeah.
And I do like a cheeky glass of wine.
We've never done dry January, and the reason we've never done dry January is because we just don't drink enough to warrant.
Dry January.
Yeah.
You've not done dry January.
Yeah. So we don't really drink a huge amount to warrant it, quite honestly.
Oh, Sharon, thank you for saying you found it interesting. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Who else we got here? Oh, here you go. Andrea has said, Andrea, how did you find out you had these intolerances, i.e. blood tests?
I've had lots of tests throughout the years because, like I say, mine initially started back when I was 23, and it wasn't as advanced as it is now in terms of finding out about intolerances and things. So I was actually in and out of hospitals and stuff like that, and I ended up having to have all kinds of different tests. Hannah's just said, I'll take you out for a cocktail when you're complete. You are so on.
Damn right you will. Damn right you will.
But since then, I've done it through my GP as well. You can get the skin things, and they try it that way.
Yeah.
There's tests that you can
just send away.
You can send away.
Get them on the line.
It's a lot easier to get it done now. But ask your doctor as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily.
Sorry, I'm just reading out this one here. So Pauline, thank you very much for your comment. We appreciate you joining in. We will stay positive. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. It's okay. We can do this. We can do this. Who else we got? Sammy has put plant-based protein shakes. Do you know what? That's a good question. Hannah, where lots of people do protein shakes when they're doing when they're doing a cleanse and all that, are there certain ones that we can use as a substitute? Because I think if there were, I'd really appreciate it. Please send. Please send.
What do you mean? The powders?
Well, the powders that we can use. Are there any powders out there that we can use that we can put into shake? Because the shakes at the moment, when we used to do shakes, we'd put porridge oats in, wouldn't we? Or we'd put in some protein powders and that.
Yeah.
And that it just makes it a bit heavier, doesn't it? Yeah. And sustains you that longer time.
Yeah.
Is there something that we can use that would work?
We've been using quinoa. Who knows? Is it quinoa? Is it quinoa? Nobody knows. We've been using quinoa flakes.
Yeah.
To put into smoothies just to bulk it out a little bit, and they've been really good. I basically make a big glass of it and I keep it in the fridge, and then when I get hungry I just have the odd little sip through the day. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because you make the same amount as me and it lasts through the day.
Yeah.
There's your glass from breakfast and it's still got some in. I get mine, I neck it in 5 minutes.
And that's your problem.
But then I'm hungry.
It doesn't look very nice, but actually it tastes really good. Looks kind of gross. But it's basically...
Can I have some?
No. You ate yours. You're the kind of person who eats all your biscuits and then stares at the other person's plate.
That's a fact.
He is. Honestly, I think he's half Labrador. You're half Labrador.
So what we got here, Sammy said, use dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free ones made with water. Yeah, okay. And Hannah's going to send through some recipes, so that's fine. We're going to be saved. And
we'll put all these up on the site as well, just, if you're interested. In terms of, I'll go back to my gloopy-looking shake. Basically what it is strawberries, blueberries, and I use the frozen ones because at least then it's cold and nice.
Yeah.
Some quinoa shakes, some flaxseed, a spoon of that.
Chia seeds, chia seeds.
Chia. Seeds. I can't remember. It's
cacao.
Cacao powder.
Love cacao powder.
And some quinoa flakes. And almond milk.
Lovely.
So there we are.
And I put in anything else I'm allowed to eat. I put an egg in.
Yes, he does. He is a raw egg. I can't do that.
But I love it.
Yeah.
But guys, these have been some brilliant questions. I'm sorry if we haven't answered everyone's. I know Andrew's been waffling on a lot here, and apologise for that. But we're going to sign off now, quickly, and I'm going to run. I'm just going to run to the fridge. She'll know where to find me. And that's it, is it?
I think that is it. Thank
is.
you. I know the last Facebook Live we did was Mr. and Mrs. It was all jolly and fun questions. This time around, it's like,
I'm Mr. Hungry.
yeah.
And who are you then at the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Miss Men?
I'm Mrs. Just.
You're gonna go meditate again.
Go and meditate. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of walks.
It's a daily occurrence.
I know.
Guys, thank you very much, and we will see you soon.
Our next one will be a lot more fun. We'll do something a bit more jolly.
Yeah. You can watch me eat. That'd be a good one.
Bye.
Bye.